Hi. Look at this giant strawberry. I can't even wrap my hand around it. There is a new whatever in my life. I am a reader now. I haven't known how to read for very long, but I recently learned, and now I'm a reader. And the first book I read was Lolita. I made a video about it. It took me 15 days to read. And the second book I ever read was Dracula. I loved it. It took me 9 days to read. Right now, I am reading The Feminine Mystique by Betty Friedan. I am exactly halfway through with it, and I started reading it 3 days ago. Today is day 3. I started reading it on Thursday or Friday. So in 3 days, I'm halfway through with this. So I'll probably finish it in 6 or 7 days. Near me, there is a library that does book sales twice a week, but we kept missing it. And today, I finally got to go, and I got an absolutely ridiculous amount of books. And I want to show you the ones I got. This is most of them. So far, I think I'm mainly into non-fiction. I also think I might be into classics. I want to get through most, if not all, of the books that are considered classics, to see what the hype is all about. But ever since I started reading The Feminine Mystique, I really want to read more feminist literature. I really want to read a lot of books about race, a lot of books about religion, stuff like that. So that's what I looked for. They did not have books on race. They had exactly 2 books that seemed to be about race. Oh, that's not true. They had a book about why slavery was a necessary evil. I didn't get that one. I judged the book by its cover. Maybe if I get through these books pretty quickly, I'll go back and give it a chance to see if it's like clickbait or something. But I didn't get the book on why slavery was a necessary evil. These were the only 2 other books on race they had. Well, they had some books about the Civil War that weren't explicitly about race in the title or cover, so those might have been about race too, but these were the only 2 books about race that they had. I Have a Dream, Martin Luther, and How to Argue with a Racist. There's other books about race that I would really like to read, but I figure if this is the only one I'm gonna be able to find in real life, I'll get it. I'll read it. I want to read. I have like a 20-page document with all the books I want to read in it. I want to read. These are just titles, so I might accidentally say ones that aren't about race, but Freedom is a Constant Struggle. A lot of books about feminism I'd like to read. The Bluest Eye. A lot of books about women. And The Souls of Black Folks, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, Kindred, I Ain't a Woman. Maybe The Color Purple, I haven't decided yet. But yeah, these are the only 2 books on race that they had, so I don't know. There's ones that I want to read more, and maybe I'll go buy those online or something. Some of these were on my list, and I've really been wanting to read them. Some of them I've heard of them, or some of them they just looked interesting. I got The Hobbit. have never read The Hobbit, so I wanted to try it. I got One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, which was on my list. I know that I wanted to read that. I got the Iliad, which is fucking massive. I don't know if I've graduated to this level yet, but I have this one, Flaubert Sentimental Education. I have no idea what it's about, but I like the cover a lot, so I got it. The Crucible, which is way shorter than I thought it would be. This was on my list. I've been wanting to read this one. The Alchemist. I don't know what this is about, but it looked interesting. Animal Farm, which I've heard of before, so I got it. The Catcher in the Rye, which is one I've heard of before, so I got it. The Odyssey, which I don't know if this is from the Iliad, but I thought this would be way bigger, but it's tiny, so I don't know what's up. I got Black Inventors and Their Inventions. I guess that's a different thing on race. It seems like a very short read. I'll knock this out in an hour. I figured it could be cool to know. And Edgar Allan Poe, who I really liked reading his short stories in school, so I wanted to get something from him, and this is the only thing they had, and I told my mom that I got this, and she said it's good. It's called The Fall of the House of Usher, so maybe it's good. The Outsiders, which I remember everyone else got to read in the 8th grade, but I didn't get to read it. And but I know I loved the movie. I haven't seen it in a few years, but I loved the movie, so I'll read the book. And I got Plato because I think I might be into philosophy and stuff, and this is the only philosophy book that they had, so I want to give it a shot, see if maybe I can Serendipities. I don't know what this is about, but it says stuff about language, and I'm into linguistics. And Night, which I'm pretty sure we read in the 9th grade. I remember this part where they're making them run in the snow or something. I don't know. I want to read some Holocaust stuff. I want to learn more about the Holocaust. So I got that one. I don't remember getting this one. It's called Why I Am Not a Christian. But it seems interesting. I am firmly convinced that religions do harm, as I am that they are untrue. Who knows? Maybe it's good. Maybe it's maybe it's mind expanding. And I got The Jesus of Faith. They had very slim pickings when it came to books about religion. I really wanted them to have more books on race, more books on women's rights, the history of women's rights, feminism, stuff like that. Zero. Zero. And I was expecting them to have way more books on religion, but they pretty much only had books on Catholicism. And it was all stuff like why I love being a Catholic mother, why I love being Catholic, why Jesus loves me. There was a book called Jesus' Autobiography, which feels kind of sacrilege. But yeah, I don't know what this is about, but I will read. I don't remember getting this one, but I guess I got a book called The Power of Positive Thinking. And this is way bigger than I thought it would be. I don't know if I'm to this point either yet. Little Women. I watched the movie when it came out, like the most recent one, I think. I didn't get it because I can't see, so I couldn't see the people's faces. But I don't know. It was in the classics section, so I got it. And The Grandeurs of Saint Michael the Archangel. It's a very, like, it seems like a very short read, maybe like a day or two. So, and I think the last one I got is called Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. I have no idea what this is. And also, I was telling my mom how I was upset that they didn't have more books on, like, Greek mythology, Roman mythology, stuff like that. And she was like, I have a whole box of books like that. So, she brought me this. I want to say, I got all the, you saw how many. I got about 20, I think, books for $23, I think. I had like 3 books that were considered hardbacks, so these were $2 each, and every paperback, even like the massive ones, was $1. So it's way cheaper than buying used books for $5 a piece on eBay, which is what I've been doing. But yeah, I got those. These are the ones I picked out from my mother. Had them. They're dirty. Oh, you can't see it, but it's like, it's a little bit icky. Greek myths. I just want to learn as much as I can about Greek mythology, the Greek gods, the stories and stuff. So that one, I've been wanting to read about Julius Caesar for a while, so I took this one, but it's like spaced out, so I think it's like a play or like a poem or something. I don't know. I'll try it out. This seemed like an interesting, quick little read, and I would get to learn more about ancient Egypt, which I feel like is going to come up a lot in my life. Another book about Tales of Ancient Egypt. Decently quick read. This one, I don't know, I might read it. It's about a cat, I guess. And this is a big guy. Yeah, she's a big guy. Quo Vadis. I don't know what it is, but it was written nearly a century ago and translated into 40 different languages. I don't know, I guess it's like an old epic or something. I have no idea what this is, but I might try to read it. And Shakespeare, Antony and Cleopatra. I'll try to read this one. It's another one of those like spaced out ones, so it's probably like a play or something. I remember in school, the Spark kids would read stuff like this, and I was always like, man, I don't get to read anything. And The Greek Way, which I'm hoping will be all about Greek mythology, or maybe these two combined will tell me everything I need to know, but who knows. Speaking of Protestants and Catholics and stuff, I'm reading The Feminine Mystique, and there's a part in the book where she's talking about the way that college professors choose to teach young people, especially young women, and how they have certain societal biases that they kind of disingenuously teach to the college-age kids and young adults that they teach, like, they're against premarital sex, so they'll go out of their way to teach the college-age kids statistics about how horrible premarital sex is and all the bad things it does, percentages of, like, people that didn't like it when they had sex early, they regretted it when they had sex early, stuff like that. How they would purposefully leave out any kind of statistics that would go against the point that they were trying to make, which was discouraging premarital sex. Another thing that college professors of the time, the 1940s, 50s, 60s, were teaching was they were against mixed relationships. And they talk about how mixed relationships put a strain on both families for different reasons. It's hard to mix cultures. It's hard to maintain a relationship with such different cultures between the two people. And I'm thinking, like, yeah, in the 1950s, a relationship between a black person and a white person might have been really difficult. Turns out the whole time she's talking about a relationship where one person is Catholic and one person is Protestant. Oh god, I'm thinking she's thinking like black people and white people are like, I don't know, two completely opposite cultures, maybe an Indian person and a whatever person. She's talking about Methodists and Baptists and how they shouldn't get married. I don't know. I just thought that was really funny. But yeah, I'm really, really enjoying this book. I feel like I'm learning a lot about myself from it, weirdly. I didn't expect that. I expected to... Because I think about stuff like this a lot. I think about being a woman, what it's like. I figured I would be, like, on the same page with everything that she says, and she would just bring good examples and good evidence that would solidify those truths within me. But she brought up a lot of points that I didn't really think about, so it's very interesting. I am enjoying it. But yeah, there's a lot of books on women and feminism and shit like that that I want to read. The Problem That Has No Name, I'm Malala, Invisible Women, Men Who Hate Women, The Salem Witch Trials, Day by Day, Watching Women and Girls, The Awakening, The Vagina Monologues, Promiscuities, Male and Female, Your Silence Will Not Protect You, Psychology of Women. I loved Dracula, and I want to read more like that, so I want to read Dracula's Guest and The Many Faces of Van Helsing. I'm just trying to get more. The Vindication of Rights of Women, The Power of the Dark Feminine, Women, Race, and Class. I already talked about the books on race I want to read. I want to read some Albert Camus books. The Metamorphosis, Dante's Inferno, Heaven by Meiko Kawakami, Invitation to a Beheading, Frankenstein I really want to read. I Was a Doctor in Auschwitz I really want to read. To Kill a Mockingbird, Bell Jar, Crime and Punishment. The Secret History I really want to read, which is probably... There's a few woman books that came out within recent years, but I think besides that, I think The Secret History is like the most recent book that I want to read, because most of the books I want to read came out in like the early 1900s, 1800s, the whenever the fuck the Iliad came out, you know. Scarlet Letter, Yellow Wallpaper. I wanna, in The Feminine Mystique, she talks, quite a bit about Freud, Sigmund Freud, and I'm really curious about it, because most of what I know about Freud, well, but we have regular knowledge of Freud, plus whatever I read about in the book, but he seems like a freaky guy. And I'm always afraid to, like, read something and have it just be, like, insane schizo propaganda, like, just not true at all. I'm always afraid to read things like that without knowing how crazy it is. And I've never been... I don't know why I'm afraid of it, but I feel like I'm gonna get indoctrinated into something one day. I'm not saying Freud is crazy like that, but I'm saying I'm conscious of the freakiness of some of his views, especially on women. But I want to read it so, like, I know what I'm talking about, because I feel like if I talk about Freud, but all of my knowledge of Freud is secondhand knowledge based on what other people think, I don't think that's really fair to me, or to Freud, or to the people I'm talking to, so I want to read it firsthand. But I'm also nervous, I don't know why. I don't know why I'm being weird about it. But I definitely want to... I don't want to only read things that I know I'm predisposed to agreeing with. I definitely want to read things that offense my already views, that challenge my views already. But you know, I don't want to go too far off, you know what I mean? I don't know what I mean. I want to read, I don't know. Thank you for watching. I want to read the Communist Manifesto, definitely. Anything that people talk about all the time, but I feel like a lot of people haven't actually read, I want to read it. Every time I read a new book, I've read 2 books now, 2.5, exactly, I feel like I'm all of a sudden part of, like, a secret club, and I have secret knowledge, and people can talk about it, but they're just talking about it, and I actually know about it, and it makes me feel special, and it makes me feel smart, and I just really like the feeling. So that's why I think I'm mainly interested in non-fiction books, because I want to get the knowledge from the source. But if y'all have any book recommendations, or if y'all want to send me books, let me know. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. Amen.